that's just how it is. I'm always going to be a collector. There's always going to be games that I like coming out.
So you're a collector, you're not a gamer. That's what you just said.
No, but you collect games.
You're a collector, you're not a gamer then. I'm a gamer.
Gamer?
I'm a gamer.
I'm a gamer with games that you haven't played.
I'm a gamer, but you just said you like collecting.
No, but you know what I mean. No, as in, I would always collect games, right? I'm not gonna not collect games.
We have on camera, right? I can replay it. I'm gonna replay it. I collect games.
No, this is, like I said,
Zelda Ocarina of Time, I completed that with my brothers, like when we were kids in 1996.
saying that
I cherish that moment, and it's like I've never gone back to complete that game yet again, but when we completed together, that was a moment, man. That was a moment with my brothers that we all looked around that one TV and we all passed the controller and like, listen, I can't do this, but you could do it. There you go, take it. And when I look at that box of Ocarina of Time, I'm like, that reminds me of that time, and that's why for me it's worthwhile having that on the shelf, because it's that important. But I'm happy to play that on the GameCube via the disc there and on the via components, because the N64 doesn't look that good and it's hard to set up on the HD TV. But I know that the N64 one has to have the physical with the box, and it's like, I'm happy with that being there, because I can look at that and can enjoy it for what it is. But it's all about playing it efficiently and trying and getting the video out, and we'll try and do that for podcast as well eventually.
This was a little bit of a podcast, I think.
Episode 2.
Hey, we could name this episode 2.
A
bit of a podcast.
Technically, actually, we could put it in subject.
You know, we're just having a chat.
This is episode 2, you know. This is episode 2, officially episode 2. Yeah, I guess so. We could do that. And then the ones that. And then the ones
there. Hold on 1 second. I might have to. You can cut that bit off.
What's going on there, guys? This is Mac. Hope you guys are well. Look who I found.
Yep, it's me again. You know, every so often we make a video.
Mate, when was the last time we did the episode?
A couple of months ago, man, at least.
Oh God. I think it's been more than even 2 months, you know. Is that
2 months? I don't know, I can't remember.
Nah, it's been more than that, man. I'm telling you, it's probably been about a good 4 or 5 months.
Nah, no way, man.
Probably 4 months.
Maybe. I'm not sure, man. Like, time flies.
Literally,
guys. Like, the older you get, the quicker time goes by, man.
I know.
So
I'm telling you, man. I just thought I'll come over. Got a lot of things happening tomorrow, but yeah, I just thought I'd just link up Shah, and he actually gave me a few things as well. Like, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. He popped round, and I know he's been looking.
He gave me Street Fighter 2.
He's a Street Fighter fan, so
collection. I'm a huge Street Fighter fan, so I'm always getting like compilations and stuff like that. Eventually, I'm gonna have like a Street Fighter shelf.
Yeah, just all Street Fighter.
Literally, just like a Street Fighter sort of montage of stuff.
Yeah,
that with Zelda as well, but that's cool.
So that's what Street Fighter 2. Street Fighter 2 collection.
There's 2 series. The volume 1 is volume 2, but this one has Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition, and Hyper Fighting as well.
Okay, and that's what PS1.
I mean, the best games are pretty much on this collection, so that's cool. I could play on the PS3.
Yep.
And he also gave me Battle Tanks Global Assault. Now, on our list of games,
for the collection,
this is a rare one. So, and you picked this up for how much?
14 or 15 quid.
Okay.
I found it, and I knew that this was quite rare.
It says 2D over there as well. That's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I've not played the game. I don't know how good the game is.
That's fine. We're not really looking at. We're both going for the full set, innit?
Full collection. So these are quite hard to find.
Appreciate it, man. That is pretty sick. I'm like, as soon as I saw the cover, I was like, I haven't picked this up.
I knew he hasn't got this.
I know pretty much. I know all the games for the N64 that I don't have, because every time I see the picture, I'm like, I don't have it, because I'm trying to get the full set like you, and it always helps to get that collection going. Anyway, I had a discussion that I wanted to talk to you about. Smash JT did a video about is it useless now to collect retro games? Essentially, the NES games, classic games, classic systems, arcade systems. Well, not so much arcade systems, but pretty much classic games and consoles. Has it become pointless now? Is it pretty much useless to have physical cartridges when you can play it in so many different formats, games, via emulation, via backwards compatibility for Xbox One, via purchases on the PlayStation Store. You got Steam, you got a lot of digital media options now. So I'll answer it because I've done a lot. I've done a lot with my collection, and a lot of it. I've been meaning to do this question for a while, but obviously the questions come up now. So essentially, this is like a discussion on the same topic of, is it useless to have physical media and old games and retro games in this day and age? So I want to ask you first of all, how you felt about that.
Firstly, right now it is a bit of a hot topic. It's a bit of a hot topic. But before I start, if my face is quite shiny, or his face is quite shiny, excuse us because it is baking hot in here right now. We're here in London, in the UK, right? And it's one of the hottest days.
We're having a ridiculous heat wave right now.
Ridiculous.
Yesterday was 33 degrees, and I think...
No, it wasn't. It was 39 at midday. 39.
So 33
Yesterday was supposed to
somewhere.
be the hottest day.
And I also saw 36 halfway through the day as well on the actual temperature thing.
Yeah,
so
we're not used to this sort of heat.
it's just ridiculous. I mean, I think the last time I remember summer was like, you were looking at 27 degrees.
Yeah.
So how did somebody go to this? Global warming, guys. Global warming. It's a
true.
real thing.
It's true.
It's not a flipping myth. It's real.
Anyways, like,
ridiculous.
okay, we were going off topic.
So,
Back to the topic. Now, what I personally think is, you'll have your collectors, right? There's probably not that many people out there who do collect video games, right? To them, it's absolutely worth it, right? Then there's people who just...
you mean the casuals that don't really collect it?
No, the collectors. You know, the collectors, they will always care about physical games, right? And collecting, right? Now, can you really be a collector? Or how fun is it collecting games from the eShop? You know, stuff that you've downloaded. That's not really collecting because they're readily available, more or less. You take the fun out of it to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So you'd always have the type of people who like to collect physical games, right? Who like collecting. And then you get the casual gamers who don't really care. If you're a casual gamer, then yes, there's no point really collecting physical copies because that's where the future's going. Now what's going to happen in 10 years time, or whenever the next, maybe not the next generation of consoles, but the generation after, it's going to be more or less all just digital. Then what's going to happen is the price of these games, the physical games, are just going to skyrocket. Saying that even now, is it really worth buying a game from the shops where you have to go out of your way, you know, queue up or make sure there's games in stock? You buy the CD and then you've still got like 50 gigs of download or 60 gigs of download.
So I think with Blu-rays, with Red Dead Redemption 2, it had the first one to come up with 2 Blu-ray discs in a case. That's ridiculous. How much data is that? That's like, I mean, 250 gigabyte discs.
I remember when I got Black Ops Day 1, right?
Yeah.
Black Ops 4. Day 1, I think it was like a 49 gig download. I just don't know. So
Day
you
one
don't really have
patches.
the actual full game on disc nowadays anymore for these big AAA titles.
Yeah, so it becomes a bit. It's
Is
a
it
bit
worth it?
dodgy.
I mean, to an extent, that's why.
So how do you personally deal with your collection, and what would you classify yourself as? I mean, would you say that to even hook up all of these old systems is like a chore, and do you feel that you just rather just play, like, say, Castlevania Symphony of the Night? I actually bought that digital to have it on my Xbox One because on the Xbox 360 game became backwards compatible with Xbox One, so now I have it on my most recent system.
Yeah.
And the game was so expensive, and I was like, you know what, I'm never gonna buy that game because it's like, I think it's about 160 or something. It's a lot of money, and for a game that, and then you got to look at the collections of all the stuff that you have and how much you're really going to be going through that to play all of that, and how much time do we really have to play that. So things like that, like I had that on digital and I just bought it, and it was nice to have that on my system.
Exactly the same. I personally think with me, I'll only buy games that I like, that I'm gonna play or that I'm interested in checking out.
Because I know that you got your PS3 set up.
No, it's set up. It's set up because it's
got it?
HDMI as well. It's downstairs, yeah.
Yeah.
But SNES, I haven't got set up. The
You
other
got
old school
PS1
games,
set up, but you can
the
play PS1
PS1's
and
not set up.
PS3.
You know, there's a Wii U isn't set up. There's a few consoles that aren't set up, but
so that rubbish.
no, I still like them.
You don't need that with all the games on
No,
the Switch now.
No, but
Switch baby.
on the Wii U you can play the Wii games, so it's all good.
That's compatible.
But like I said, I only buy games that I like, so I'll only collect
Yeah.
physical copies of games that I really like, and games that are the AAA games.
So games
the
that you
AAA
actually
games,
like.
yeah, the AAA games that I'll say, for example, on the PlayStation or the Xbox,
Yeah.
I might not collect because they're readily available, right? And
They're not retro.
if I buy the CD anyway, it's not really a full physical copy.
It's not a full game.
It's not a full game anyway.
It needs
right?
all kinds of patches.
So mainly cartridge based, the old school PS1, PS2, PS3 games, you know, the Xbox, original Xbox 360s, and obviously your retro consoles as well. Those are the stuff that I'll collect for. But I'm not going to go overboard and buy anything and everything.
What about the classic systems that have come out, minis?
Yeah, I've got the
That.
minis. I actually play them more regularly than the other
Exactly.
original
So,
consoles.
say you got a game on the SNES Classic.
I wouldn't buy it again unless
Would you bother pulling out the cartridge to play the system?
no.
You
Because
just have it on the HDMI connection.
yeah, it's just a lot easier now. If I really like the game and I want it part of my collection, I'll go out and buy it. But only if I really want it. I'm not a big fan of having double copies of everything. Before I buy something, I'll think hard about, okay, which platform am I going to get it on?
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost, and do I really need it? Basically, just so I think ahead and I know that I want it on a specific console. So I'll go out and get it, and just so that I don't get a double copy. There's just no need for a double copy, really. There's so many games out there. There's so many games out there that you can invest that money on another game.
When I started collecting, right, I started buying a lot of stuff, and it was like a variety of systems, and I realized that when you start doing that, it's an endless bottomless pit, because there's so many systems out there, and there's so many different games, and then even just the different boxes for different regions to different systems and stuff like that, to display them all on a shelf. My OCD was going all over the place, because I was like, this doesn't match up nicely. And then I decided to streamline. I think I've been trying to streamline for at least I'd say about a year and a half now. I've been trying to streamline it. Only recently I did a video where I took the last amount of my retro stuff that I wanted to sell off, and I took about 6 bags in total, I think, over two visits. That was on Game Shop. What is it called again?
Peach Gamers.
That's the one. Yeah.
Peach Gamers in
So,
Romford, guys.
So I got that one. I got a lot of stuff sold off there. That was literally the last of it. And the idea behind it is that eventually I've moved all of my systems up to HDMI connection.
Nice.
And the ones that are not are RGB SCAR, and I've got about 5 different systems that are on RGB SCAR, because obviously that's what we had here in the UK for like anything that's 16 and 8-bit consoles to 16-bit ones, mainly 16-bit, I think.
16-bit was
and the SNES.
like
not 8-bit.
16-bit was what? I don't even know. It was RGB. SCART was like N64. That was like SCART level. RF unit was.
We can't get RGB SCART for the N64. We can only get S-Video.
S-Video
without. I mean, unless you do a mod.
Yeah.
But
we had RF units for
basically the like my SNES, my Mega Drive, and my Super Nintendo. What I've done, I've got the RGB SCART cable, and I put it into a RGB SCART to HDMI, and then it goes into my HDMI TV. So I mean, I'm gonna go into there's just too much to talk about when it comes to that. The idea behind it is that I've streamlined a lot of my systems, and all the stuff that I want plug and play is going to be set up, and that'll be done. I want it to be the best it can be, So my Mega Drive has been set up to run 60 hertz, so without the borders and the correct speed. I'm going to eventually mod my SNES, and then that will be the same, and they're going to have an RGB output to a HDMI TV, and that's done. But I've stopped buying games for those systems because I've picked up an EverDrive, and I'm okay with emulation, but only if it's done in a sort of a manner that it looks the part. So with EverDrives, and I've only picked up games that now, I mean, a lot of the games that I first started collecting was pretty much my childhood games.
Yeah.
So that's how I first started picking up games.
With.
And then I buffed it out with random stuff, and I sold a bunch of random stuff now because it's like Xbox. I got excited of Xbox. I was like, picking up random stuff Xbox. I was like, I don't need all that stuff. And I'm gonna consolidate it down to like only the stuff that I play.
Yeah.
And having done that, I've realized that also the amount of time you have to play games as well, and I don't want to have that much time at all now. So it's like we're not young no more. So we've got so many different responsibilities now. So
we don't do this full time on YouTube where we can just continuously play games.
No, we can't.
You know what I mean? So it's a hobby for us.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't pay. This won't pay for anything. So essentially, only in our free time we can do gaming. So my library has only been consolidated down to things that I can play. Essentially, things that I want to play, like say the new Spider-Man game, the new God of War game. So things that I like from my childhood games, and then only games and peripherals that only make sense for me to buy for a complete system, and that's pretty much it. I picked up. I did a video about my SNES Classic, and the one that I hacked, and I also did a hack for my NES Classic, which I wanted to do a video on. Now what I did, I loaded them up with a bunch of games that I knew were like, I took the top 10s of every system that I was looking at the time, and again I limited to only specific systems that I know that are popular and ones that I enjoy, like the main systems, like the Nintendos and the Segas and the PlayStations. I didn't bother going to 3-year stuff. And I consolidated it down to only the games that I know the top 10 of those systems that work. Like, like really expensive games as well. Like I have no problem playing an expensive game on emulation, because I've stopped buying games, especially spending so much money on individual games. Like I'm gonna complete the N64 set eventually, and that'll be the one set that I have all the games of. But even then, I know that I think there's about 60% of those games that I'm never gonna play.
Definitely,
exactly. There's so much.
I don't think, like I said, unless you're really into it, you
like
shouldn't.
Zeldas, you're picking up all the Zeldas. I'm picking up most of the Zeldas, right? I got most of the Zeldas. I've picked up most of the Street Fighters. I've got all my childhood games from my Master Systems. I had that growing up.
It's an expensive hobby.
What was your first system?
My first system was Sega Master System.
As well,
Yeah.
See?
I had Alex the Kid pre-built in.
If you guys didn't know yet, in Europe,
Alex the Kid.
It was all about Sega Master System, not the NES. NES was in the States.
Yeah. I had the NES after. No, not the NES. Sorry, I had the SNES.
Yeah, Alex the Kid. I had Sonic 1 built into my one.
I had Alex the Kid.
Original Sonic, old Sonic.
But I think my mate had Sonic, so I just clocked that, and then I had Sonic 2.
That was sick though. I remember that Sonic game.
Those were the days, man. Like, how times have changed.
Yeah. I mean, I would say that there is, to a degree, there's a element of collection that I enjoy, but now I enjoy finding sets, like mini sets that I want to complete and only play. Like, say for example, I'll buy a certain Uncharted, yeah. So I would get 1, 2, and 3, the Uncharted collection, which I got, and I bought Uncharted 4, and that would be full set. If I had Uncharted 4, it would bug me until I got the rest of Uncharted. But then it has to be a game that I want to play. So I'm still working my way through that game, but that's an example of a series that I would have. But I've consolidated even my newer systems to the games I want to play. PS4, just exclusives. And I'm happy to play the NES and the SNES Classic. I've hacked them and I've put in PS1 games on my SNES, the NES Classic, and it works, and it works really well, and it's designed in such a way the emulation just looks legit. And I put in the entire SNES library on my SNES Classic, only the games I wanted, not random and stuff, and I worked hard on it OCD wise, I worked hard on it and I made sure that it's concise to exactly what are the top of the games that I enjoy. Not anything like there's a lot of really brilliant RPGs out there, but that's not really my genre that I like. So generally, I would avoid that.
Like there's some good.
So I'll put in like a lot of platformers that I like the best of the best, and then I want to play it on the best format possible. So the NES and the SNES Classic, I mean, those emulations are pretty much good, but you play with a physical controller.
Yep.
And it looks legit, so it's like I'm happy with that, to be honest.
Emulators are,
and I keep
up
it
there.
I keep it on me in it, so it's like there's no issue me just literally hooking this up to any system, and it's like I'm done. It's like there is absolutely no issue.
Yeah.
Plugging this up and you're ready to go, and that's all you really need.
There we go.
You know, it's like that's all it is, and having the best form of video format out. Like at the moment, my SNES Classic, right? Sorry, my Switch is my main system that I pick up games for because I enjoy it. But a lot of my systems now are portable, and these I can take to people's houses and we can play.
But,
and
sorry.
Yeah.
Back to the original question. Yeah. Is game collecting
a dying breed? Is it a dying?
Secondly, is it worth collecting when you've got everything's becoming where you download games, physical games are dying out?
I would only download games that I know.
Again, I mean,
No, but the question is,
I personally wouldn't
first question.
download games because I don't see that as value for money, because
But there are
you're
some
renting.
games out there, right, where you can't buy a physical copy.
So this
You
is
have to
where
download it.
this is where I draw the line. Like, I would say that I would avoid downloading games in general, unless I physically have a copy of that game. Say for example, Bayonetta 1.
Yeah.
I had done the Xbox 360 physical, so I was okay to buy Bayonetta 1 and 2 collection on the Switch.
Yeah.
Bayonetta 2 came physical. Bayonetta 1 was a digital code.
Digital download.
But technically I already had the physical, so for me to have a digital code on the Switch is the one that I play. I'm happy with that.
No, but the question
But
is,
if it was only available digitally,
yeah,
I would choose not to buy it.
but it's
Because you got to draw the
really
line
good game.
somewhere.
No, but it's a really, really good game.
You got to draw the line somewhere.
For
But there are a
example,
few games that I
Cuphead.
have bought on the Switch.
No, for example, Cuphead.
That's physical now, I think.
Okay, but when it first came out,
Yeah.
it was digital, right?
And I bought that digital.
There you go. That's what I'm saying.
There are a few games that I would make exceptions for, because on the Switch, Astro Duel Deluxe, phenomenal game. Tower
Yeah.
Fall, you taught me about that one.
What a game.
Phenomenal game.
Guys,
Switch has 6
Shout out to
players.
Towerful Ascension. If you guys haven't played it,
He's
it's a very
sponsored by them.
retro 8-bit. I'm not sponsored by them. I just think it's such an awesome game. Multiplayer, amazing, very simple.
We need to do some Let's Play on
Yeah, I
Tower
need to do some
Fall.
Let's Play on that game, man.
That's
So
okay.
I've got it on both PlayStation and the Switch as well. It's that good. I just had to get it on both. But
You get to a point where you look at your collection and you just think there's a lot of games, right?
yeah.
Like we're in Charlotte's space right now, but in my room I've consolidated my games to the ones that when I look on that shelf I know that these are from my childhood and I want to have them, and there's not many, so that's why it's okay to have that small amount. And then the games that I really want to play, modern system ones, I'll have them. And the games that I'm going to play, and also games that are really good party ones that I can play with people. And every time I buy a game now, I look at it and I'm thinking, it's something that I can play. It's something that I know that I can pull out, and I know that I'm going to be playing it at some point in the most near future. Because if it's not worth having. If it's an unknown title, it's not worth having unless it's an unknown title that's got a lot of good reviews about it, and it's also
It could be
a
unknown
genre.
and you end up liking it.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of
Yeah,
games like that on a 16-bit platform that I know that I haven't played, but as long as it's a 16-bit, as long as it's a game that has a good amount of reviews, and a lot of people have said it's like it's like a must-have, and on top of that, it's a game that it's in a genre that I enjoy. So say it's like a platformer or it's an action shooter, I would look into getting that, and then I'd watch reviews, and eventually I'll play it at one point. And I've got through a lot of like the Clonero series. I've started playing that, and it's freaking brilliant. But it's so nice to do it on my NES Classic because it's there. And I didn't buy Clonero on the PS1 because it's so freaking expensive. But I was happy to have that all done on that NES Classic with the artwork, and I can play it through there, and I was happy with that. As long as I'm playing it on an official system of some sort, through the emulation that they have on the NES and the SNES Classic, where I can do save state, is brilliant.
So look,
I'm happy to have games like that on those systems because those are games that are really expensive, and I will play at one point. But it's not from my childhood. So say if I had that in my childhood, I'd probably try and get the physical disc of that Clonero game, and then I'd be happy with that. But in general, my collection of games that I had from my childhood is small, so it's not an issue to have that many. There's a lot of people that do have a big collection, and then it's like physically how much of that would you actually play, and then I start feeling guilty if I'm not playing that at all. So it's like I want to get rid of it. I look forward to consolidating my collection all the time now. I went through a lot of my accessories down to like specific amounts of stuff that I need physically for a system. So like one system with 4 pads, that's it. I wouldn't go any more than that. And I was happy to get rid of the other ones and put some money back.
yeah, because you had a lot of accessories, a lot of
My N64, the blue one that I picked up, I sold that. I got my childhood one. I'm happy with that. That's all I need. I got my SNES Classic. I got my SNES one from my childhood, and I'm happy with that. I sold off the double system. It's like that type of stuff.
So,
You know?
look, the question is, right? Because you just need to answer this question, right?
The question is what? The question is
game collecting a dying hobby?
It's not. It's not.
Why?
It's not because it's people have a sense of enjoyment when they collect things that reminds them of the childhood, and I'm sure that when you play Zelda or Ocarina of Time,
Yeah, but that's for us.
if you hold a physical game, you feel.
But say the new generation coming up, they're now used to downloaded games.
This is
right?
not really about the new generation. This is more about
No, but they're the
people
future.
the classics.
The-
Because the question is about, you're missing the question now.
No,
The question is based about, is it worthwhile collecting the classic retro stuff in this day and age? So that question is more. That question is more
about
based.
retro games.
It's more based about people who actually lived through these retro style stuff. So people
Okay, fair enough.
people that like our age, right? We lived through this era, so we had a lot of physical media. So it's not really about the Fortnite players of today, because I understand the new generations have less attachment to physical media
But
because
that's why it's a
they've
dying
been
breed.
brought up on a.
I tell you why, because
and
there's
it's
only
not-
so many of us.
I'm not denying the
Right.
fact that it's a dying breed.
It is a dying, unfortunately.
I can read the writing on the wall. I know it's happening because Xbox have already released the Xbox Sad Edition, all digital, and they've already tested the water, and it's going to happen.
I mean, like I said, in that sense, yes, it's a dying breed because 20 years down the line, there's going to be fewer and fewer people like us, right? There's still going to be people like us, but fewer because the next generation isn't being brought up with physical copies of games, right? So, none the wiser really, but
they will have something that they can have on their shelf. May it be like an old toy, a classic system.
Yeah, they'll have other
Classic
things.
something.
They'll have other things. Now,
And I enjoy
you're
that.
always
I enjoy my Amiibo collection,
Yeah.
especially for Smash Brothers, and that's something that I don't
that
need to
stuff
play.
will always.
I don't
be
feel
around.
I don't feel tempted to have to I don't feel guilty for not having to play that, because at the end of the day it's a thing that sits on the shelf. It's fine, it looks nice. I don't need to play that. If I get a game that I don't play at all, then I'll be like, should I just sell this because I'm not using it for its purpose, and then I feel
Yeah,
guilty
I mean-
about that. So that's why I enjoy certain things of collecting.
It
they
all
will find
falls
that.
down to an extent. It all falls down to why you're collecting, etc., etc. But you're always going to have the people who are already collectors, no matter
It's
what.
a philosophical question.
Philosophical.
Because at the end of the day, it's very independent to the person it's coming from.
Yeah, but this is what I think.
We don't need to answer the question for everybody, because the viewers are.
I know, but that's what we're debating about.
They all have
That's what
different
we're
situations. It's more about yourself,
Yeah, like
with your collection.
like I will still collect because I'm not going to suddenly stop collecting.
You're not gonna blow up your room with it, are you? With loads?
No. But how I collect
have
is just
limits.
different. Yeah, the way I collect, and I think the way a lot of people collect, unless you're really into it and you've got a lot of free time and money to spend, is you buy the games that you like.
I'm not,
Yeah.
and I'm not bashing on the people that have a lot of games.
No, I wish I could do that. You know, I envy those sort of people. But
could play
right
all-
now I've got to be realistic. Yeah.
People that could play all day basically.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could do that. I envy those people, like I said. But I've got to be realistic. I'll buy games that I like, that I'm interested in. As I said before, but the thing is, digital games ain't gonna stop me from collecting. I'm always gonna collect. There's enough games out there to collect. That's just how it is. I'm always gonna be a collector. There's always gonna be games that I like coming out.
So you're a collector, you're not a gamer. That's what you just said.
No, but you collect games like
You're a collector, you're not a gamer there. I'm a gamer.
gamer.
I'm a gamer.
Cool. I'm a gamer. A game that you haven't played.
I'm a gamer, but you just said you like collecting. You
No, but you know what I mean. No. As in, I would always collect games, right? I'm not gonna not collect games.
We have on camera
right?
to replay it. I'm gonna replay it at the edge. I collect games.
No. Listen, like I said, I collect games that I like and that I play. I'm not gonna
And you play
collect a game and then just put it up on a shelf somewhere
That's
and
different.
not play it.
This is why
I can't afford to do that.
This is why we say that we're not 100% collectors in that sense. We will collect a game and have it sealed, and then never
I can't
touch
afford
it.
to do that.
But allow
Do you know what I mean?
allow sealed games. Like, I don't understand that because it needs to be played.
Well, to be fair, I understand it because some people probably got 2 copies. One, they want to keep it.
No, but that's
some
it's just
people wanna
crazy. Like,
invest.
why would you do that? Like,
Some people want to invest.
invest
you
in
know.
a house. Don't bloody invest in
Yeah,
video
but
games.
video games.
It's
Houses.
just like it's just I don't know. I don't see that as a financial gain.
End of the day, I think collect if you like collecting.
Exactly.
Don't
Enjoy.
collect if you're a casual gamer. Only get into the
Look at your collection.
only get into
Proud of your
collecting
collection.
if you're really into it. Don't just follow other people just because someone else is collecting. You want to start collecting.
It takes up space. It costs a
costs a
lot.
lot of money.
Um,
Takes a lot of time.
Yeah, and also the amount of stuff that you accumulate.
Do it if it makes you happy.
You'll be sad if
Do it
you
if it
lost
makes you
it.
happy.
You'll be sad if you lost it as well. So only get the stuff that absolutely you feel that you need to, and then the rest. But we don't really need it. It's not bread and butter. We don't need it to survive.
Nah, it's like it's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
It's a hobby.
So
and-
in a day, it's a hobby. So
Loads of people have other hobbies.
get it
They
and
collect this,
enjoy
they collect
some.
that.
Yeah, exactly. So get it if it makes you happy at the end of the day, and emulate what you need to if it makes you happy.
Like
and
I said, I personally won't have. I'm
if
trying
you've
not
got
to have 2
time,
copies.
and if you've got time to play the games, and the best way
Except for
possible,
Towerfall Ascension.
yeah, and the best way possible for you to play that game is via digital or via a HDMI connection.
I don't think they've got a physical copy.
Do it.
Of
Yeah,
Towerfall.
exactly. Like, if you enjoy it, just do it. I personally think that that's absolutely fine to have a lot of variations in that collecting style, and I personally have consolidated. I think that I know that you had a big collection when you were started up. You were getting quite a lot of stuff.
Buying
But
loads of things.
you
like
slowed
that.
down. We both slowed
both
down
slowed down.
on actually going to game shops, retro game shops, and just picking up a lot of stuff because we realized that a lot of stuff that we're picking up, we're like, what am I gonna do with this?
Yeah, but like when you have the initial
Initial buzz at the
initial
time.
buzz and you get everything, you realize that almost every other shop has the same stuff. Then it gets harder to find the
And you
the
do know
breakdown
that you
games
need-
or one-off games that that are a bit more rare.
And when you start selling it, you realize how how irrelevant these things are that you're picking up. That no one really wants to buy it.
Yeah.
You can't get a good deal on the stuff that you bought, and you realize how much you've actually spent on some of these stuff. And I realized
You've got to really have a passion for it.
I made some stupid mistakes on some of the stuff I picked up, and
To an
definitely
extent, you lose money.
I've learned from it, and
Yeah.
I've sold a lot of stuff, and I realized I'm never gonna buy random stuff like that again. Things like certain arcade sticks that are so expensive because I never used them on certain systems. So it's like only get stuff that you will use.
Yeah,
After
sure.
only stuff that I would use at one point. And I'll do like a little mini gaming tournament in the house where I will have certain systems set up with arcade sticks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And for that, it's good to have certain systems for that, and I'm gonna make use of it. And I'm okay with that. I don't like things sitting there and gathering dust personally.
That's it, man.
That'll
Have
be
fun. I was playing Super Mario, a new Super Mario Deluxe. Right? Very standard game. It's been out before, but
It's been sick.
I played it with three of my mates. You know, so 4 of us, and we had such a laugh
Jokes,
just playing that game.
Have you played Little Big Planet?
On the PS3, I've had Little Big Planet,
Yeah.
but I only had 2 controllers.
I played that with family, and it's hilarious.
Those
It's
are the
such a
games,
fun.
man.
1, 2, and 3, we've actually completed that. It's been fun. And I'm going to pick up Ultimate Alliance 3, and I'm going to play with the
That
same
should be
crew.
perfect, Yeah.
Um,
That's why I love the Switch so much, because
you need
it's
players.
really
You
easy.
need players to play it with, but
Easily you can
when you get them,
grab
it's
mates and play.
hilarious. Exactly, and that's the type of stuff that you want to cherish. And once you've done that, you can go on that shelf and you'll be like, we had heaps of fun playing that specific game, and that will be your memory. And that's why it's worthwhile
That's
having it.
Yeah, that's what it's about, man.
It's worthwhile having for that reason, and there's only like so many you can have with memories like that, because
Yeah.
you're not gonna have an entire wall of games that you physically played, because again, like I said, we don't have that luxury of time to be able to play that game. But the ones that we do have the luxury of time, the ones that we have played in the past, you know, it's nice to look at it on the shelf and be like, I remember that time.
So
And
the
Zelda,
memories as well.
Zelda Ocarina of Time, I completed that with my brothers, like when we were kids in 1996.
Saying that.
I cherish that moment, and it's like I've never gone back to complete that game yet again, but when we completed it together, that was a moment, man. That was a moment with my brother, that we all looked around that one TV and we all passed the controller and like, listen, I can't do this, but you could do it. There you go, take it. And when I look at that box,
What a
box
game,
of Ocarina of
what
Time,
a game.
I'm like, that reminds me of that time, and that's why for me it's worthwhile having that on the shelf, because
Same
it's,
here.
it's that important. But I'm happy to play that on the GameCube via the disc there and via components, because the N64 doesn't look that good and it's hard to set up on a HD TV. But I know that the N64 one, I still have the physical with the box, and it's like,
Yeah,
I'm happy with
same
that
here, man.
being
Like-
there, because I can look at that and can enjoy it for what it is. But it's all about playing it efficiently and via the best means that you have. And I personally have a good way of connecting that via certain systems, and yeah, it's that ease of use.
What do you collect for? You know, ask yourself that. Why are you collecting? Go on from there.
Yeah,
You know.
find your key issues, or like, find your key points of what you want to achieve out of that collection, and what makes you happy from that collection,
Man, this has been a
and then do that, innit?
very philosophical
Yeah.
discussion and
It's
little rabbit hole that we went down.
Yeah, and then a lot of rants on certain stuff, but no, that's good.
But yeah, collection. Look, collectors are on a decline, but we're still here.
I don't think collectors are on decline. People have been collecting since day at stamps.
Yeah. Well,
American
people who
pictures.
collect games. People who collect like classic retro games.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that a lot.
but we're still here, and it's not gonna, it's not gonna go. If you guys have made it this far into the video,
And we'll like
you're crazy, man.
Thank you for
Thank
sticking
you.
with us. But
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Means
thanks a lot. There's a lot of time on the video, man. It's been
No
ages,
worries, man. Anytime.
and we will try and get another video out, and we will try and do that podcast as well.
Yeah,
Eventually,
this was a
hopefully,
little bit of a podcast, I think.
episode 2.
Hey, we could name this episode 2.
I-
It's a bit of a podcast.
Technically, actually, yeah, we can
It's
put it
very
in
full,
subject.
we're just having a chat.
This is episode 2, you know. This is episode 2,
episode
officially episode
2.
2. Yeah, I guess so. We could do that.
Yeah.
But it's been good catching up, man. Listen, we need to do that again soon. Thanks for the gifts.
No worries,
And
man.
yeah, sign out. Where can they find you, by the way, on YouTube?
You can
What's your
check
YouTube
out my channel, Shah JB. You can find me on there. Bit of lifestyle stuff.
You got any other
games.
social media?
Um,
Do you use for your channel? Do you use anything else?
Not really. Just
Yeah, YouTube.
Just YouTube right now. I've got Facebook, Instagram, and all that stuff, but mainly all my stuff that's sort of
yeah.
related to retro games, food, lifestyle.
I do like your food video. That was good. Anyway, guys, listen. Thanks a lot for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys. I know we
Appreciate
rambled
it.
on it loads, But have a nice one, guys.
Yeah. Until next time, take you guys. It's Mac. Peace out.